Penguin Random House Audio presents A Year of Last Things. Poems. Written and read for you by Michael Ondaatje. For Linda and for Shibeshek Seleki. Writing isn't just telling stories, it's telling everything all at once. Marguerite Duras. He watched all his characters hiding in his youth. Locke. Reading the lines he loves, he slips them into a pocket. Wishes to die with his clothes full of torn-free stanzas and the telephone numbers of his children in far cities. As if these were all we need and want, not the dog or silver bowl, not the brag of career or ownership. Unless they can be used, a bowl to beg with, a howl to scent a friend, as those torn lines remind us how to recall, until we reach that horizon and drop or rise like a canoe within a lock to search the other half of the river, where you might see your friends as altered by this altitude as you. The fresh summer grass, the smell of the view, dark water, August paint. How I loved that lock when I saw it all those summers ago, when we arrived out of a storm into its evening light and gave a stranger some wine in a tin cup. Even then I wanted to slip into the wet, dark rectangle and swim on, barefoot, to other depths, where nothing could be seen. That was a further story. Definition. All afternoon I strolled the plotless 1,300 pages of a Sanskrit dictionary, with its verbs for holy obsessions, the name for an alcove of coin washers whose fingers glint all night with dark lead, grains of silver. Here root vowels take an accent at high altitudes, the way dictionaries speak over mountains. A single word to portray light from that distant village reflected in a cloud, or your lover's face lit by the moonlight on a stage. Landscapes nudge the dialect. In far places travelers know a faint gesture can mean desire or scorn, just as a sliver of a phrase thrown away hides charms within its grammar. Our guru, someone with a light touch, derives from that short vowel alone and before a single consonant. Wherever you turn, definitions push open a door. The precisely named odor of a man who is a heart thief. A word for the highest complication during a play used also for impregnation. Attributes of character link themselves to professions. A metal worker, the river merchant, the commissioner of oaths, the census taker of birds who continues the medieval art of whistling. Those who carry bees on their arm like a dark flame. The sullen recluse who was once the author of a prayer. This word for a pool before a temple, or ansa, the shape of a shoulder blade, as in the corner of a holy quadrangle. The ancient phrases give you the coin of escape, that epithet for those who return to broken relationships repeatedly, will row you away from confusion, or remain only for remembrance. This is how deep I was lost my darling. In a love so narcotic, I possessed unimpaired splendor, having no other want or wish. What was there before there was the warmth of that word for your shoulder blade, or that time before we moved to a freedom from desire? 5 a.m. for Stan Ragland and for Chris Coleman. The wilderness of our youth, an empty barn, dancing with friends into the small hours, then daylight, and the cars swerving away, wordless, into the dawn. It arrives all at once tonight, not as memory, but like a gift from forgetfulness, as a desire can wake you, or this poem, based on the accidental change of speed in a friend's camera into slow motion. So now I remember the rest of our shadows as we danced, all our heartbeats under the thunder. And I can speak to you the way we once sang farewells out of our cars, late at night, when those goodbyes remembered everything. Wanderer. Let us speak about our enormous flaws as told to us by others, accountants, wives before leaving, about how we deceived ourselves, even our dogs, by ignoring their concerned pre-walk tear-stained howls, though they rested often on our chests, making sounds like old ships. For there is only, but always, a small tunnel of escape for forgiveness. As with any novel or film, you hang on to character rights and where you came from. There's not much to leave when you're only 15, we are told. My friend's family in Warsaw during the war was fed and kept alive by a German deserter who roamed Europe like Odysseus, even joining them in their escape, pretending to be mute, while they taught him Polish. A dissolved genealogy let him cross borders and war zones with them, finding a path through various armies. He knew already the great engines of this world do not run on faithfulness. Without a homeland, he was for a while a father to the children, and later, more than once, needing a passport, he married more than once. With dialects and port-accented verbs, he could sing in 4 languages about departure. He belonged still to himself at 15, waiting for the later years to reach him. Who had he become? He'd bunked beside Isaiah, escaped judgment, remained as if impenitent. He felt comforted only when, as with the dog, it became difficult to know if accusations meant damnation or contentment. Last things. Dante's busy writing, say, the 4th canto, and anything could happen. Adam Zagievsky. 1. Work in progress. The air in the piazza darkens around Dante Alighieri, stern, high above us, one hand holding a book, his nose a dagger in the blackness. 2 nights later, I dream Dante's body is a falling animal. He crawls out of shattered plaster, a blue, rough tongue slithering from his mouth, as if, at the end of the world, there is this lizard who will walk up some staircase in the dark, a finished book in his mouth. 2. The quick. Adjusting her sandal, losing her hair,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?